Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Game Reviews. What are we reviewing this time? Humanity. Humanity, the game, we're not talking about people here, we're talking about the game, is a 2003 puzzle platforming game. It was developed by THA Ltd, or the Ltd, I guess is how you pronounce their name, and published by Embrace Games. Came out on PlayStation 4 and 5 and Windows on May 16th of 2023. Like I said, it's a puzzle platformer strategy type game, single player, but it does have some quasi multiplayer-ish, not really multiplayer, but like it has a multiplayer sort of component where you can design your own levels and stuff like that and share them with people. So in that sense, but yeah, it is a kind of like the game kind of reminds me of like Lemmings or something like that, like the old Lemmings game. Not quite involved like Lemmings was as far as like giving your lemmings like pickaxes and stuff like that dig holes, but the same kind of concept where you're directing humanity to the light, right? Like I said, it did come out on PlayStation and Windows. It is VR supported, so if you have a VR headset, you can play the game in VR, but you can also play the game outside of VR. So it's not required. It just allows for VR to be utilized if you have that. I'm assuming PSVR you can use it with as well as like something on Steam, like an Index or something like that. I don't know if PSVR supports it, but I would imagine it does. I wouldn't see why not, because it does talk about the VR. It does talk about VR on the PlayStation version. So I would assume that you could probably, and it's on PS4 and 5, so you could probably play it with a PSVR 1 or 2, I would imagine. Because it's not a game that really requires like an intense VR headset or anything. It's kind of like playing Tetris Connected in VR, where you're really just kind of seeing things in front. And I played Tetris Connect in VR, and that was pretty cool. I mean, it just brings you closer to the board, but you can play the game without it. So, but we'll turn it over to Shane here and see what he thinks of Humanity. Shane?
I like it. I wasn't sure how to feel about it because Lemmings was fine back in the day, but I mean that's been a long time ago. So I honestly don't remember how I felt about Lemmings. I think I liked it, but that's been God knows how many years. So, but Humanity is it's just like you said, it's a Lemmings game. You lead from one point to another. You try to get, well, it's hard to say because certain areas you lead a herd of people to a goal. Other areas you lead a herd of people to a goal person, and then you lead them to a goal. Then you have to lead them, lead a gold person. That's all you need. You can kill everybody else to a goal. But throughout that, you get various tools to use. Different. They will vary per level. You will get a directional thing. Okay, you can put a point here, and just kind of lead them around. When you start, it is all ongoing process. As soon as they go, you got to figure it out, lead them to their area. Other levels, you have to set the path before they all start moving. You got obstacles, you got things to manipulate to help you get to your goals. You get different, like I said, different abilities. You can get a jump, long jump, high jump. You can get fans. You can get float. You can get all sorts of things. The game is, it is such a relaxing yet piss you off game because you start off, click here, boom, everybody makes it, sweet. Then you get to the next level. Oh, crap. you only got so many options, so you got to figure out how to use those options, or you're limited to so many moves, and the game gets progressively more uh, thought provoking. And each time you enter a new chapter, um, it's almost new gameplay. I mean, it's still the same gameplay, but you have so many more mechanics. There's so many different things that have been added. It really refreshes the game, which I really liked. I'm typically not a puzzle game or anything like that, but these types of games I can typically get into, um, and it's a great game. There's a story to it. It starts off very odd. I don't know what the hell. There's a glowing dog just humping the air the entire time you're playing. I mean, but it slowly progresses. You have like a god figure that's talking down to you and kind of explaining things and telling you things and adding little bits of story to it. And I just enjoy the game. I think it's just a sweet, fun game. It's relaxing. It pisses you off. It has all the elements of a good strategy game, a good puzzle game. The only thing that I don't get is why you would ever put it in VR. I mean, I don't know I didn't do it in VR. I could, but I just chose not to because this doesn't seem like a VR game. Unless, I'm in first person view of the dog or something. But I know it doesn't do that. So but really, I have no complaints about the game. It's just fun. It is. I can't remember how much it was. I think it was $30, and it was worth every penny of it. Every penny of it. I just adore this game. It's just fun. It's something I come home from work. I can just plop down, turn it on, play 3 or 4 levels, and just be happier than crap. So, good game. I truly, truly enjoy it. Let's go to Nick before he blinds himself again. I saw that, mister.
Yeah, I was right.
What'd you think?
Yeah, it is $30. If you want to buy it brand new. If you have PlayStation Extra, Supreme, whichever version, I don't remember what version it is, but whichever version it is, out on there for if you pay for that version of the subscription model, kind of like Game Pass, but for PlayStation, it is out there, so you can download it and play it for free, or I guess a part of your subscription, right? Which is what I did because I have the Ultimate Extra Deluxe Super Mega Edition of PlayStation, so I just downloaded the game. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a nice little puzzle game. It kind of reminds me of Lemmings, sort of, right? You don't have all this stuff like in this game. You don't have it's based on the level, but you don't have like a limit of people, right? In Lemmings, you had like maybe 10 lemmings and you had to get a certain amount through the gate, right? And this one, people just continue to pour out. And it's really you trying to figure out how to get them from point A to point B through these various of obstacles, being able to use the actions that they give you in that level, right? And there's, you might be swimming through water or going up platforms or down platforms or crossing, jumping over, and it just depends on what skills they give your character you play as the dog at the time. So skills may be like a long jump, a high jump, just moving in a certain direction, things like that. So you're basically directing the path of people, humanity in this case, right, to the light. And where they start, how do you get them from point A to point B? And Shane's exactly right. It's really, when you see the people pour out, you kind of panic because they start dying off and you're like, oh no, I need to hurry up, but not really. What you really need to think about is, where do I need to place everything in the level to make it to where they get to point A and point B, as well as if you want to get the extra stuff, but there's these gold people, they called goldies in the game, that you want to collect because it unlocks stuff. So it's like, okay, how do I direct my people in order to go through this level, grab the goalies or goldies, and then make it to the light? Sometimes and then certain levels you can't. It's not just a straight path. Like you might have to, veer some of the people off to go hit a switch or something and keep them over there on the switch so the switch stays active while you move other people along the path, right? And various things like that. So it's very thought provoking for the level as far as how the level's designed and how you're going to get people from point A to point B, because as you progress, it gets progressively harder, more difficult. You got to think more, right? About how you're going to get people there. So it is a fun game. It's a cool concept. It's a fun little puzzle game to play if you want to, like, I guess at some points it can be relaxing. At other points it can be very frustrating, especially if you can't figure out how to get, you think you got it right, but then all of a sudden, especially like one of your goldies, you get one of them and then you don't realize that you forgot to put a marker somewhere or whatever, and they just go right off the edge and you're like, gosh darn it. The cool thing about this game though is that if you want to replay a level, you can replay it keeping the commands that you've set down, because when you put down the commands, you're setting them in place so they just stay there. So the cool thing about it is if you want to replay a level, you can tell it to either replay it removing all your commands or leaving all the commands. So if like, oh, I screwed up here, I lost a goldie, or I messed up here, but I see where it is, you can say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and restart it. And then once it starts over, all your commands are there so that you can say, okay, I'm going to change that to here and this to there. And that should work. Right. So it's almost like, instead of like, it is about getting the people from point A to point B, but the whole thing from you as the dog is, how am I, what direction or what maze? It's like those mazes on the back of cereal boxes. Like, how do I get from the start to the finish? Right. And you're just basically mapping that out onto the stage. And that's really what you're doing. Because once you get it mapped out, because that's what you're thinking about, you don't really care where the people are going when they first start out. It's really just thinking about, like, okay, they're going to turn here. I'm going to make them turn here. I'm going to have them go up there. So it's a lot of planning before you actually execute what you're doing. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. If you like puzzle games, that are a little bit different, kind of, like I said, a little bit reminiscent of Lemmings and games like that back in the day, where you had like an ever moving character that you had to put things, obstacles or various things in the way to direct them to a certain location, then you'll like something like that, or like this game. It's got kind of like the, I don't know. It's like a little bit of the spirit of Lemmings in there, just somewhere. I think the idea for them was probably something Lemmings, and then they just kind of expanded on it because it's very similar. Like when we first saw this game, that's the first thing we thought about was Lemmings. Like, oh, this is Lemmings, and when you start playing it, you get that idea of it being Lemmings. But as you progress and go further, you're like, okay, it's not quite Lemmings, because Lemmings was a little bit different as far as, you only had a limited number of people, and you could make the Lemmings do various things like parachute Lemmings and make Lemmings dig holes and various things of that nature, which you don't really make the humanity do things in that form or fashion. But you can dress them up as you progress and unlock things. So that gives it a nice little variety. Plus, like I was saying, they do have like a multiplayer type-ish component where you can design levels and also play user-created levels. So that's cool. You could go in there and make your own level for people to play, or you could play levels that other people have created. So that's the kind of multiplayer-ish concept to the game, right? And you're not playing with other people, but you're playing stuff that other people have created. Or you can create your own and put it out there. So that's cool. I mean, that gives some longevity to the game, even though the game is a fairly decent size lengthwise. There's a lot of chapters and stuff like that, and a lot of levels per chapter that you can play through that introduce new concepts and new powers and things like that you can utilize to get your Lemmings from point A to point B. But so overall, yeah, it's a really fun game. It's a fun puzzle game overall. Can't hear you there, Shane. Oh,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, new headset, just playing with it. No, my favorite thing there was the way the levels varied in heights and spaces. A couple of them were like 2 and 3 tiers with these fans, and your lemmings can fall off 1 block space, but they can't fall off 2 block spaces or they die. I call them lemmings if they're humanity, but people are pretty much lemmings anymore. They, so you have to use aerial things and all these little tricks they give you, and some of them are kick your own ass common sense, but you don't realize it till you finally just hits you. It's like, oh crap, I could have been doing that the entire time. And there were several of them like that, and some of them were just straight up hard. I tried to get when you get all the goldies, as you get more and more goldies, you get more and more features like big head modes on on the lemmings, on the humanities, and things like that. And there were some that I could not figure out, and it just sucked. It just made me so damn mad because I put a lot of time trying to figure it out. Oh, they do have I don't want to say a cheat mode, but you can watch a video in the game that will tell you how to work the level. So you can do that. I never did it because I'm too stubborn, and if I'm going to fail, I'll fail like a champ. And I did. I felt like a champ in many, many levels. But the levels are so fun, you don't even think about it. It's just, you just guide along, and then after you complete a chapter, it goes into a little story mode, and then all the humanity and the goldies and stuff appear on this giant like world stage, and they do all these weird things. It's just fun. I mean, it's a game that I can jump into and out of and just have a good time. It's not overcomplicated as far as controls. It's not overcomplicated as far as what you need to do. It's just how to do it. So, but I really enjoy the game, and I'm, damn good $30.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. For $30, you can't go wrong. It's a good little puzzle game. If you like puzzle games, if you enjoy puzzle games, it's definitely a puzzle game to get, right? And we don't get a lot of puzzle games a lot. And, some that I think the last puzzle game that I played was Tetris Connect, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed Tetris Connect a lot. But that was the last one or Connected or whatever it's called. But that was the last puzzle-ish game that I played, and so this was the next one, and this one's a lot of fun too. It's not Tetris, but it's different, but it's a lot of fun. So if you like puzzle games, I would say pick it up, check it out. If you have PlayStation Extra Mega Ultimate Edition, you can just download it now. It's out there to download, and you can play it and try it out for yourself, see if you enjoy it. Otherwise, it's $30, which is not that bad for a game it's got a lot of, there's a lot of chapters and a lot of levels and stuff, and it'll take you some time. So it's not like a, clean sweep through it or anything like that. And it can be challenging too. So lots of brain power needed.
Yeah, you definitely get your money's worth out of it as far as just the time. I mean, even if you hit everything and got it all done on the first shot, you've got a lot of time to spend on this game.
Yeah. So, yep, it's definitely really good. Shane, you got anything else you want to say about the game?
People are lemmings.
People are lemmings. That's right. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the game. Have you played? Let us know down in the comments. Have you played Humanity? Let us know what you think of Humanity if you have played it. If not, do you like puzzle games? Let us know down in the comments. Not everybody's a big puzzle game person. I like puzzle games. Depends on the puzzle game, though, right? Not every puzzle game talks to me, but there's a lot of puzzle games that I enjoy playing. So when a good one comes along, it's nice to see a good puzzle game come out and be fun to play. But let us know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. That helps us out a lot. Make sure to like the video and hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.